Next on today's agenda is we have the Arkansas State Department of Parks and Heritage and Tourism here and the Attorney General's office to discuss our state parks, and the question I think we're looking for today, or hopefully get an answer to, is whether or not firearms can be carried on our state parks. So if you would, gentlemen and ladies, just have a seat at the table and yes, you have.
Members of the committee, as they are coming to the table, I just need to be able to read this statement. The Washington County Circuit Court issued a gag order on August 28, 2025, prohibiting certain law enforcement agencies, including Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, from making any public statements regarding anything that touches on the evidence concerning the incident at Devil's Den State Park. Thank you. Thank
you, Co-Chair. And you know, and we understand that. We know you can't really discuss any of that. That's what we told Colonel Hager when he was here with the state police going over that situation. We know we're not privy to some of that information, parts of that investigation, and this committee understands, and we appreciate that. But today, if you would, just go ahead and identify yourself for the committee, and then we'll get started.
Marty Ryle, I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism.
Mike Wilson, Assistant Director of Arkansas State Parks.
Kelly Summerside, Deputy Attorney General for the Opinions and FOIA Division at the AG's office.
Justin Hughes, Assistant Attorney General at the Opinions and FOIA Division of the Attorney General's office.
Justin Brasher, Senior Assistant AG with the Intergovernmental Affairs Division of the AG's office.
Okay, thank you for being here today, and we appreciate you taking the time to appear before this committee. And the question at hand is simply this. We heard from Colonel Hager some time ago in regards to the situation, and we're not going to bring that up today. But what the inquiries have been and what the answers we're looking for is whether or not in our state parks an individual can carry a firearm. Is there signage? Is it prohibited? Is it allowed? I think we need to have a discussion about that, and that's what we're fixing to have. So if you would, who wants to go from that question and start answering, we're ready.
Oh, yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to this group. Currently, as it relates to carrying a firearm or handgun on Arkansas state parks, we follow the current Arkansas statute with concealed and also enhanced carry. We follow that direction, sir.
Okay, so is the answer to that, my question, is that a yes?
It is a yes, with an exception to federal property or leases on Corps of Engineer properties, which doesn't allow the carry of a firearm without a permit from the Corps of Engineers.
Yes, there's a difference in state and in federal. But on our state property,
yes, sir.
There's no signage up or anything that says firearms prohibited, or is there?
Only as it relates to enhanced carried entering certain buildings on state property, as identified in the law, sir.
Okay. Anyone else at the table?
Yeah, Mr. Hughes can clarify that.
Thank you. Our office issued an opinion on Friday, opinion number 2025-031. That opinion deals with municipal parks, but there is significant overlap with state parks. And so the answer to the question whether you can carry a firearm in state parks is yes. We agree with state parks that absent, carrying a firearm to federal land, like U.S. Corps of Engineers land, you are allowed to carry.
Can you explain the difference?
I'm sorry. Let me make sure I understand. You're saying on federal land? Say that again.
No. Excuse me. Let me clarify. For state parks, you are allowed to carry either openly or concealed within the park. And as state parks has indicated, there's a prohibition on carrying it within state buildings. You cannot do that with a normal concealed carry license, but you can with an enhanced license.
Okay, and on federal parks, make sure we all are clear on this. You said something about federal parks, so it's prohibited under federal law, is that correct?
So Arkansas law prohibits carrying of a firearm anywhere where it is prohibited by federal law. So, for example, with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers property, you would not be able to carry on that property even if it is within a state park.
Just to clarify, we have 5 state parks that are on U.S. Corps of Engineer lands. They are Bull Shoals, Lake Ouachita, DeGray Lake Resort State Park, Lake Dardanelle State Park, and Millwood State Park. All of those fall under the U.S. Corps lands. All the other state parks out there, the 47 other state parks are state lands.
Okay, just to help me understand. So the 47 state parks, it's not prohibited. But are you saying under the 5 that's under the Corps, there's a different set of rules for that because it's federal? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Representative Gonzalez, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Director, you mentioned that you follow the concealed carry law when allowed to carry in a state park, but we're a constitutional carry state. So what about someone who is carrying without that permit? Are they still allowed in those state parks? I understand the buildings and federal and all that's different. I'm talking about the other state parks.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We are allowing that carry, sir, with the exception of those federal, as long as the intent and there's no crime associated with it.
Excuse me, Senator Rice, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all for being here today. The Attorney General staff, a minute ago you mentioned municipal, except municipal. Could you define what you were stating there?
Thank you for that question. I was stating that the opinion that our office issued on Friday dealt with municipal parks. In that opinion, it states that you can also carry in those parks. Specifically, you can open carry in those parks. You can conceal carry, both with a regular license and an enhanced license, with the exception of athletic events. And I'm happy to get into that exception, but in terms of municipal parks, that's what I was referring to.
Okay. And just for clarity, Mr. Chair, for public consumption, I have not read that you put out Friday. I checked with our staff today, and the agenda for the meeting, which it does, agenda changes. The meeting notice was put out November 6th for this meeting today. The agenda was put out, he said, roughly midday Thursday, the 13th. And if for our citizens who like to participate sometimes in these discussions, if you ever go in, if you've already left home Thursday and the agenda's posted and you don't know about it till Thursday night, you can't go into your employer on Friday morning and say, I'm going to take off Monday, I need to be down in Little Rock. This is what concerns me sometimes, to have citizens' input. If we could do a little better job, at least if the agenda's going to change, put out something that the public knows what we're going to be discussing, and sometimes they can change their daily routine or maybe get off. So I appreciate your answers, and I'll be glad to listen. Thank you, the chairs, for your recognizing me.
Senator Johnson, Mark Johnson, you recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This, in the immortal words of one of our late governors, opens up a whole box of Pandoras. I'm just not sure how to sort all this out. But first, let me, if I could, go to our friends with the AG's office about the recent opinion, which I haven't had a chance to read. But my understanding of what you said is that any municipal restriction on carrying in a park has been struck down, or the opinion of the AG is that it's not applicable based on both state statutes and the constitutional carry requirement. Am I hearing that correctly?
Essentially, Senator, what the opinion states is that in 2021, as you're probably well aware, there were several amendments to ACA 573-122 that removed state or municipal parks from their definition of facility. After those were removed, open carry is allowed in municipal parks. However, there's still a prohibition in 573-306 regarding those with a concealed carry license from having a concealed carry weapon if they have the regular concealed carry license at an athletic event. However, with an enhanced carry license, you are allowed to carry at an athletic event. So this opinion dealt specifically with the ability to carry at municipal parks during athletic events, and there was another question about whether you could carry in a building in a municipal park, and that has not changed. You cannot carry within a building in a municipal park unless you have the enhanced license.
Okay, and I'm not trying to go down a rat hole here, but I think you'll follow where I'm going. There is a city which we just happen to be sitting in right now, and it has a zoo. And when you pass the zoo, there is a sign that prohibits carrying any firearm, and it ends it by saying, "By order of the city manager." And I have always taken offense to that because I didn't realize that city managers were able to promulgate laws. But in any event, that's what the sign says at the Little Rock Zoo. Now, if you go to the zoo and you're carrying and you don't go in any of the buildings, you just walk around the outside exhibits and look at the animals, would you be in violation of any statute? What would be the status of an individual that was doing that?
Senator, one I would say, I'm not sure of the status of how the Little Rock Zoo is owned.
It's in War Memorial Park, so that helps clarify it. It may not, but just in case, I wanted to add that.
Thank you, Senator. We want to stick to the bounds of our opinion. We haven't looked specifically at the zoo itself, and if there's an opinion request to look at the zoo, we'd be happy to do that.
I could consider doing that. Okay. Thank you. And one, if I could, Mr. Chairman, I have for our parks people and for Mr. Ryle, I have one further question. Thank you. Marty, you mentioned the and I'm going to use DeGray as a good example. It's a federal lake that Arkansas State Parks has facility there, and there are different exceptions to that. But if I, for example, had a houseboat in the marina at DeGray, would I lose my Second Amendment rights because I was on a federal funded lake, or what would that be since I'm staying on my own boat at DeGray Lake State Park?
I cannot answer that, but Mike, do you know the answer to that?
Yes, sir. We don't manage the lake as far as on the houseboats. That would be the Corps of Engineering Federal Navigable Waterway.
So it would be up to the Corps and not. I'm not talking about being in the lodge. The lodge is different. It's a building, and it is. I kind of get that, but when you're on your own boat or in your own car and in your own home, so to speak, and in many cases, some of these boats are bigger than a house and qualify as a second home under a lot of federal laws. I'm just trying to say, where are my rights abrogated was my question. And I think your answer is you're not sure, and I'm certainly not sure either. So tell me if I'm not hearing that correctly.
Yes, sir. It'd be at the discretion of the Corps. Our boundary ends at 408, the watermark, where our lease stops.
Okay. All right. That part I do understand. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you,
Senator.
Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Representative Richardson, Scott, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this probably runs back to our friends from the AG's office, and if you could indulge me just for a second, you've used the term multiple times, especially when we're talking about the municipal parks. You've specifically referenced the permit carry. I want to know if the opinion approaches unpermitted carriers in any way, and if there is any specific approach to how they would be regulated in that particular environment. Can they not carry, according to the AG, in a municipal park?
Yes, the opinion does touch on that. And unpermitted carriers, whether they're carrying openly or concealed, are permitted to carry in a municipal park, according to this opinion.
Okay, thank you.
I think that what they were saying about the permits is within buildings. So I just want to make sure we understand that's within buildings. You're not, so could you just restate that? We're not talking about open air park. We're talking about a state building is where the permits come into play, correct?
So for that clarification, no, you are not permitted to carry in a state building unless you have an enhanced concealed carry license.
Right. But whether you have a permit or not, you can carry in a state park as long as it's not inside of a building.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Senator. Representative Rye, you're recognized for a question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for you. Mark Twain Forest, which is it's either in Arkansas just a little bit or not. But if it is that federal property?
It's not Arkansas State Park property, sir, so I'm not sure whose property that is.
It's close, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it's close, but
Okay.
it's not part of us.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Rice, you have another question.
Do either one of you know, let's go to parks first, are there exceptions where people can ask permission to be able to carry within a state-owned building and not, without enhanced? Do you know of any?
I'm not aware of any.
Was this question in reference to a municipal park or a state park?
Could be, yes. I'm just asking a general question. Is there an exception if somebody asks from an authority over that facility if they can carry?
The statute does not contain an exception.
Do you have something?
Yes, sir. We have had visitors come to our overnight accommodations, and we appreciate them approaching us with that, and we try to make accommodations with the weapon locked and it unloaded, sir.
And I mean, the reason I'm asking, you do have people that are traveling and they stop and spend money in our parks. Mm-hmm. They're not going to travel if they believe in Second Amendment and protection. They're going to have it with them, and they'd rather not leave it in their car or automobile, and to be able to do that. And to me, it makes sense if they can ask, can we do this? And it's done in a responsible way. So there are some reasons for some exceptions. And again, like you said, you appreciate people being open about that.
Yes, sir. We make every attempt to make accommodations.
Yeah, thank you.
Seeing no further questions from committee members, Coach Chair, you have any closing comments? Thank y'all for being here today. Seeing no further business before this committee, meeting is adjourned.